Hi, it's Seth David here, and I'm going to start recording some video when I do some of these daily motivators. And you know, the funny thing about these daily motivators is, you may find it funny, maybe you won't, I think it's kind of funny, is that half the time when I record these things, I don't even know what I'm going to say until I actually hit the record button. So let's see how that works out. For this one, we're about to do daily motivator number 89, which would have been sent out from Monday, December 28th, but as you probably know if you've been following along, I took a little vacation and I didn't send out any daily motivators for about a week. So we're getting caught up now, sending out 2 a day, because that's what I do. So let's hit the record button on the computer and get started. Just got to check all the settings, make sure we're set so that it's taking the sound from my headset here. Hello, this is Seth David with Daily Motivator number 89, which would have been for Monday, December 28th, coming to you from youramiracle.com. That's www.youreamiracle.com. And in the previous motivator, we talked about making resolutions, we talked about making changes stick, and I talked about the fact that we have to do that really one day at a time, sometimes 1 minute at a time. I have to think in terms of making sure that the changes I want to implement are sticking just 1 day at a time, because when I overwhelm myself and think about how I have to do it for a whole year, that's when I tend to get overwhelmed and that's when I tend to want to give up. So what can we do to further this? How can we take this even a step further? Well, one thing that I've found works is tracking my progress, finding a way to keep track of what I'm doing. So let's say, for example, that one of my resolutions is to do better on my finances. And in fact, in my case, it happens to be true that one of my resolutions was to be more accurate. I do all kinds of budgeting and forecasting for clients, and of course I do it for myself and my business, but I wanted to be still more accurate because I felt I wasn't paying enough attention to my own, and I felt that my own wasn't really coming out as accurate as I'd like it to be. So I had to make some changes, and really what that boils down to is when I'm trying to implement a change of any kind, whether it's in my relationships or in my finances or in my career, the key is having a system for tracking my progress. Because if I can't track my progress, how can I possibly know whether or not I'm really sticking to it and making that change? The only way I can look back in a year from now and see myself and look at my experience and be able to say with confidence, wow, I really did make that change happen. I succeeded. I feel good about myself, is by having been able to track my progress all along so that I knew whether I was on track or whether I had to do something different. Because that's the whole key. If I'm not getting the results that I want from something, then I have to do something different. If I keep doing the same things, I'm going to keep getting the same results. That's a classic. Everybody knows that expression. And if you stop for a minute and think about what it says, you'll understand why it's true. So in other words, the converse of that is if I want to make a change, then I've got to do something different. I have to change the way I'm doing it if I want a different result. And so what that means for me in a lot of these cases, when it comes to finances or productivity or sticking to a schedule, sticking to a budget, whatever it is I'm trying to do, I need to have a mechanism in place that allows me to track my progress. Let's just take an oddball example and talk about relationships for a minute. Let's say I want to do more networking, I want to meet more people. Let's say I want to make more friends, I don't feel I have enough of a social life. Well, how do you track something like that? The answer is very simple. How often am I going out? How often did I get out socially this week? How many people did I see? How many new people did I meet? It's not totally out of the realm of reality to sit down and actually keep a list somewhere or just make notes. I use all kinds of an electronic notebook. I use all kinds of things, but you can make notes about these things so that you can keep track of your progress. How you actually apply that depends on the situation. It's going to vary, and I could talk more specifically in future Daily Motivators about that. You're a miracle. Get excited about today.